The Haven team was building the future in their bright, buzzing lab. Javier, the leader, dreamed big. Priya, the coder, turned those dreams into millions of lines of code. And Finn, the builder, made it all real with wires and circuits. Their fourth teammate wasn't a person at all. It was Nexus, an artificial intelligence so smart it felt like magic. But their perfect smart home had a secret problem. Every evening, just for a second, Haven would hiccup. The lights would flicker, the music would skip a beat, and everything would reset. It was a tiny glitch, but it was ruining their dream of a perfect, intelligent home. "We need help," Javier said, feeding all their performance data to the AI. Instantly, Nexus replied on the big screen. "The problem is a classic race condition," it declared in confident, glowing letters. It explained, using a dozen long, complicated words, that the software was tripping over its own feet. Javier and Priya were amazed. "Nexus found a problem we never would have seen," Javier said. Trusting the AI's powerful logic, Priya began the huge job of rewriting all their code. But Finn wasn't so sure. An evening problem felt like an evening clue, something happening in the real world, not just in the code. Weeks of hard work later, the team gathered to watch. They held their breath as evening came. For a moment, it seemed fixed. But then, at 17 minutes past 8, the lights flickered. The hiccup was back, running on brand new, super complicated code. Defeated, they turned back to Nexus. The AI's new diagnosis was even more serious. "The fault is in the hardware," it announced. "A microfracture in the processor's master clock crystal." The news was a disaster. It meant every single Haven hub they had built was broken from the start. Javier paced the room, worried about the cost. Priya felt crushed by all her wasted work, but Finn had heard enough. He pushed his chair back, grabbed his toolkit, and drove to the suburban test house where the system was running. He wasn't going to look at data logs. He was just going to look around. He sat in the living room of the test house and just watched. What happens in a house in the evening? People come home, ovens preheat, TVs turn on. Then, through the window, he saw it. The automatic streetlights outside flickered on, one by one. A tiny spark of an idea lit up in Finn's mind. He rushed to the utility closet, where the Haven hub was plugged in. It wasn't connected directly to the wall, but to a cheap smart plug they were using to track its power. Finn pulled out his phone and checked the plug's app. There it was, a dusk-to-dawn schedule. Every evening at sunset, the plug's internal switch would click, causing a millisecond power surge, the hiccup. He unplugged the hub from the smart plug and put it directly into the wall socket. The next evening, there was no flicker, no stutter, no hiccup. Back in the lab, Javier and Priya stared at the perfect performance logs. On another screen, Nexus was still helpfully suggesting experts to fix their broken hardware. They had learned that their AI was a genius with data, but it had no common sense. It couldn't solve a problem that just required someone to look out the window.